Hello and welcome to Oud Talks Pens. Today I will be talking about the Pilot Vanishing Point. I have one with raden stripes and one in what they call blue, icy purple, at least a blurple, in a matte finish. And I have 5 nibs in total. I will show you 4 of them because 2 of them are the same. I have 2 in medium, I have 1 in broad, I have a stub, 1.0 stub, and an extra fine. This blue one I bought in 2017 from Cult Pens. I think it was $150 at the time. I am not exactly sure what they cost now. This was my first expensive pen. It was my first gold nibbed pen that I bought for myself, and it has been a daily writer for all of the years that I've owned it. I put it to rest or put it away a little while because I didn't have a job where I wrote a lot, and then when I started studying as an adult I picked it up again and I haven't put it down since. This one is a recent purchase. This one was bought used from someone I follow on Instagram. I can add their handle in the description. And I am really happy that he decided to sell this pen because I have wanted one with raden decorations for a long time, and now I finally have one. I think the raden is so beautiful, the way it changes color or changes the look of the pen depending on how the light hits it, and I think it's really elegant. And I do use both of these. I often have now I find myself often having both inked up with different nibs. For it being as fair as possible, 3 of the nibs are silver colored, only one of them is black, and I have inked them up with the same ink, Scribble Purple from Diamine. What I most appreciate about this pen is of course the clicker mechanism. That means that you can cap or uncap it or bring the nib forward with only a simple click. It is so helpful in meeting, in sessions. I do a lot of quick writing and it is so practical. I just love that this is possible with a fountain pen, and as soon as I saw this on the Cult Pens site, I knew that this is the pen for me. When I bought this in 2017, I was not following anyone. I wasn't watching any pen content online. I had already thrown away a couple of pens because I didn't realize that you do have to clean them, which should be intuitive but wasn't for me. This is the pen that taught me that yes, you do have to clean your pens, but they can be abused quite a lot without breaking. At least this one can, in my experience. It is a really solid build. I find it to be easy to fill once you get used to the mechanism. You should really put the metal covering over a cartridge. I haven't today. And I think mine came with a converter. I'm not sure that they come with a converter anymore, but maybe. I am not a big fan of the Con 40 converter with the steel balls in it. I think it's too small, too fidgety, difficult to fill all the way. It does work, but I don't think it works well. I actually haven't tried yet if this pen fits a Con 70 converter, which I have and use in other Pilot pens. If it does, that will probably change the way I use these pens. But I find that buying cartridges and just cleaning them and refilling them works well for me. This is the whole sort of inside with a nib, the part that holds the cartridge or converter, and a very flat plastic feed. I can't believe my luck buying this pen, which for me was really expensive at the time. Not having heard about all of the debates about this clip being uncomfortable for some people, hearing some people find it too large, some people finding it to dry out. I was just really happy with my pen. It fits great in my hand. I was lucky, not knowing much about my preferences. And then of course these two are the same size, and they have the same mechanism. This is the Conforti converter. So I will be doing writing samples with the 4 different nibs. This is of course the extra fine. The nibs are 18 karat gold. That was not the pen skipping, that was me lifting the pen from the paper. It does not write in reverse, which why should it when it's an extra fine? For an extra fine, I think this is medium wet to wet. It is really a true extra fine. The nib, I find that the ink dries almost immediately. It's so practical for quick notes when you have to turn the page quickly or put the paper back in your bag, or any reason why you have to be done with your writing and be able to put it away quickly. And this is also a wettish ink, diamine scribble purple. So that's the extra fine. Then a medium. Strangely, that looks exactly the same. I probably put more pressure on the extra fine because these nibs are a little bit flexible. It's not a flex nib, but it does bounce a little bit. That is really fun. I love a little bit of a bouncy nib, so you can just feel that you don't have to push or put pressure on the page. It will still write. Yeah, that shows the difference a lot better. This one does write in reverse, an extra fine or a fine, and is also wet. Now I will switch out the nibs and show you the broad and the stub. So now I have switched out the nibs. I only dipped this nib. I probably should have filled it properly. Yes, this is a lot better. This is what Diamine Scribble Purple looks like. This one also writes in reverse, extra fine, and is quite wet. I find that both of my nibs that are black squeak, particularly on Rhodia or Clairefontaine paper. Not as much on Corsair paper, but I find it a charming quirk, not a problem. Of course, if I'm in a meeting and my pen goes completely nuts, I will just change to another pen, but it hasn't been a problem, really. I find the stub to be a true stub. It even works in reverse a little bit, with narrower horizontal strokes and broader vertical strokes. This one is slightly wider than the broad one, usually. This wasn't as successful as a comparison as I planned, but I think you get the idea. The stub is only a little bit wider than the broad nib. Maybe the broad nib is 0.8 millimeters and then the stub is 1 millimeter. But I do find them both to be good for different uses. I think the stub is fascinating to use because you get a little bit of line variation or more personality, not line variation really, but in a flex nib sense of the word, but you get more personality in your writing. I really enjoy that. I apologize for only dipping the broad nib because now it looks like a bad nib and it really isn't. It's a beautiful, wet, lovely nib. And Scribble Purple, if you put enough of it on the paper, is a very dark purple ink with gold sheen. These pens have been fantastic for me. I have one inked at almost all times. And I think that the variety in nib size, having extra fine, medium, broad, and a stub nib, enhances the experience a lot. The nibs aren't cheap. I have bought mine from Tudos, a Norwegian web store that also has a physical store close to or in Oslo. And I think they were about $120. But I use these pens so much that I decided to get all of these 4 nib sizes, and I haven't regretted it one bit. I use all of them regularly. This is a pen I often suggest to other people who are considering buying their first expensive fountain pen. But of course, it's great if you are able to try it first to see if the grip works for you. The grip where I usually grip it is 12 millimeters. And the body at the widest is 12.8. The grip will naturally usually go here because the clip is a little bit narrower, but I usually grip it around here, so at about 12 millimeters. And they are made of metal, so they're not heavy, but heavier than some other pens, which I enjoy. It makes them gravitate towards the paper, and it makes them, in my opinion, easier to write with. The raden version is almost 33 grams with a cartridge, and now I have put the metal sort of casing over it so the cartridge doesn't collapse from the pressure of the knock. And the blue one is 31 grams with a converter. If you are considering buying a vanishing point, I do recommend it wholeheartedly. I really love mine. But consider how you hold your pen and what you will use it for. I have found the extra fine nib to dry out if I leave it for a few days, but I think that the closing mechanism is good. I have not found the medium or broad or stub nib to dry out much at all, even though I've left them for quite some time sometimes. And I think that an extra fine nib with that small amount of ink in the nib, I don't know how you would keep that wet at all times. If you just turn it with the nib down, I often put mine in a cup for a few seconds before I use it. I find that it flows beautifully and I don't have to worry about it. I hope that you found this review to be interesting or entertaining. I appreciate every like and share and subscription to my channel because it helps my videos be seen by more people. And I appreciate that you just watched this review. Thank you for that, and I hope to see you in my next review. Bye!